What if I told you there was a way to cheat death, but at a terrible cost? In the magical world of Harry Potter, this method exists through something called a Horcrux. But is it truly worth the price? A Horcrux is one of the darkest and most forbidden magical creations in the wizarding world. It's an object in which a dark wizard or witch hides a fragment of their soul, allowing them to cling to life even if their physical body is destroyed. But creating one isn't just complex, it's horrifying. The process requires the ultimate act of evil: murder. By committing murder, the soul is torn apart and part of it can be sealed into the object. Of all wizards who sought immortality, Lord Voldemort, the Dark Lord, took it further than anyone. He created 7 Horcruxes, some deliberately, others unintentionally. Let's explore each Horcrux in detail. Here on ShutterMongers, we dive into the magical mysteries and dark secrets of the Harry Potter universe. Today, we'll break down each of Voldemort's Horcruxes, how they were created, where they were hidden, and how they were ultimately destroyed. Let's start with the first Horcrux that played a critical role early in the story: Tom Riddle's diary. Tom Riddle's diary was one of Voldemort's earliest Horcruxes, created during his time at Hogwarts. This seemingly ordinary journal contained a fragment of Voldemort's soul and was intended to reopen the Chamber of Secrets and continue his dark mission to purge Hogwarts of Muggle-borns. Voldemort entrusted the diary to Lucius Malfoy, who later used it as a tool for his own schemes. Lucius slipped the diary into Ginny Weasley's cauldron among her school supplies at Flourish and Blotts, hoping to discredit Arthur Weasley and sow chaos at Hogwarts. Unaware of its true nature, Ginny began writing in the diary, and the fragment of Riddle's soul slowly began to possess her, forcing her to reopen the chamber. When Harry Potter discovered the truth, he used a basilisk fang to destroy the diary, vanquishing the memory of young Tom Riddle and extinguishing the Horcrux. This marked the first of Voldemort's Horcruxes to be destroyed. Next, we have Marvolo Gaunt's ring, an ancient relic tied deeply to Voldemort's ancestry. Marvolo Gaunt's ring was far more than just a Horcrux. It was a powerful symbol of Voldemort's connection to his ancestry. The ring had been passed down through generations of the Gaunt family, descendants of Salazar Slytherin himself. The ring carried the Slytherin family crest, and to Voldemort it represented both his pure-blood heritage and his claim to greatness as Slytherin's heir. The ring originally belonged to Voldemort's grandfather, Marvolo Gaunt, who prided himself on his connection to Slytherin despite the family's decline into poverty and obscurity. After Marvolo's death, Voldemort, then Tom Riddle, reclaimed the ring from the ruins of the Gaunt family home. But the ring was more than a relic. It was also a powerful magical object, as it contained the Resurrection Stone, one of the 3 Deathly Hallows. However, Voldemort either did not realize its significance or was uninterested in its potential as a Hallow, and he turned it into a Horcrux instead. Voldemort hid the ring in the old Gaunt shack, protected by powerful curses. When Dumbledore discovered the ring and its significance, he retrieved it, but in doing so, he triggered the curse placed upon it by Voldemort, leaving him gravely injured. Despite the curse, Dumbledore managed to destroy the Horcrux by using the Sword of Gryffindor, which had been imbued with basilisk venom. Though the ring was destroyed, the curse inflicted upon Dumbledore would ultimately lead to his death, further demonstrating the deadly lengths Voldemort went to in order to protect his soul. Moving on, we have Salazar Slytherin's locket, a Horcrux hidden in a place that held personal significance to Voldemort. Salazar Slytherin's locket, a treasured heirloom of Slytherin's bloodline, was transformed into a Horcrux by Voldemort. He chose to hide it in a cave that held deep, personal significance. As a child, Tom Riddle had once lured 2 fellow orphans from his orphanage to this very cave and tortured them, an act that foreshadowed the darkness that would later consume him. This place of torment became a fitting hiding spot for the locket once he had turned it into a Horcrux. The cave was protected by powerful enchantments, including the dark requirement of a blood sacrifice to enter. Regulus Black discovered Voldemort's secret and, with the help of his house elf Creature, stole the locket from the cave, replacing it with a fake. However, the real locket was later stolen by Mundungus Fletcher and extorted by Dolores Umbridge. Harry, Ron, and Hermione infiltrated the Ministry of Magic to retrieve the real locket from Umbridge. Finally, Ron destroyed it with the Sword of Gryffindor. Then there's Helga Hufflepuff's cup, an artifact stolen and turned into a symbol of Voldemort's desire for immortality. Helga Hufflepuff's cup was a treasured artifact passed down from the founder of Hufflepuff House, known for her kindness, loyalty, and dedication to fairness. The cup, engraved with her symbol, represented the values that defined Hufflepuff. Voldemort chose this object because of its connection to one of Hogwarts' founders, believing it would further symbolize his claim to greatness and power. The cup originally belonged to Hepzibah Smith, a wealthy collector of magical relics. In his youth, Tom Riddle worked for Borgin and Burke's, and when he discovered the cup in Hepzibah's collection, he became fixated on it. Riddle murdered Hepzibah and stole the cup, turning it into a Horcrux to immortalize himself. He later entrusted the cup to one of his most loyal followers, Bellatrix Lestrange, who kept it in her heavily guarded vault at Gringotts Bank. In a daring heist, Harry, Ron, and Hermione broke into Bellatrix's vault at Gringotts during the Second Wizarding War, navigating deadly curses and enchantments. After successfully retrieving the cup, Hermione destroyed it in the Chamber of Secrets with a basilisk fang, just as Harry had done to the diary years before. Rowena Ravenclaw's diadem, a lost relic with its own tragic history, became another piece of Voldemort's dark puzzle. Rowena Ravenclaw's diadem, a lost artifact of the founder of Ravenclaw House, was said to enhance the wisdom of its wearer. Long thought to be lost to history, the diadem was actually stolen by Rowena Ravenclaw's daughter, Helena, in a fit of jealousy. Helena fled to Albania, where she hid the diadem. Years later, Voldemort charmed Helena, as the Grey Lady, Ravenclaw's ghost, into revealing the diadem's location. He then retrieved it, turning it into a Horcrux and hiding it in the Room of Requirement at Hogwarts, where it remained undisturbed among countless forgotten objects. During the Battle of Hogwarts, Harry learned of the diadem's location after speaking to Helena Ravenclaw's ghost. He, Ron, and Hermione rushed to the Room of Requirement to find it. However, in a final twist of fate, the cursed fire known as Fiend Fire was conjured by Vincent Crabbe in an attempt to stop Harry. The uncontrollable fire consumed everything in the room, including the diadem, destroying the Horcrux in the process. Voldemort took things one step further by turning his trusted companion Nagini into a living Horcrux. Nagini, once a maledictus, a woman cursed to permanently transform into a snake, became one of Voldemort's most dangerous allies and a living Horcrux. Voldemort entrusted her with crucial tasks, including guarding key locations and carrying out brutal murders. Her bond with Voldemort made her an essential part of his plans for immortality. During the Battle of Hogwarts, Nagini was by Voldemort's side until Neville Longbottom beheaded her with the Sword of Gryffindor. Her death marked the destruction of the second-to-last Horcrux, leaving only Voldemort's unintended Horcrux, Harry Potter. Lastly, perhaps the most unexpected Horcrux of all was Harry Potter himself, created unintentionally on the night Voldemort attacked him as a baby. Perhaps the most significant of Voldemort's Horcruxes was one he never intended to create, Harry Potter himself. On the night Voldemort attempted to kill Harry as a baby, a fragment of his shattered soul latched onto the only living thing in the room, Harry. This unintentional Horcrux formed the infamous connection between them, manifested in Harry's lightning-shaped scar. It was this bond that allowed Harry to experience Voldemort's thoughts and feelings throughout his life. The unintentional Horcrux meant that for Voldemort to be truly defeated, Harry would need to die. Understanding this, Harry willingly walked into the Forbidden Forest to sacrifice himself. When Voldemort cast the killing curse, the piece of his soul inside Harry was destroyed, but Harry himself survived. protected by the same ancient magic his mother had invoked years earlier. With the Horcrux within him destroyed, Harry was no longer tied to Voldemort, and Voldemort was left with only his own mortal life, vulnerable and weakened, with no further protection against death. And so, with the destruction of all 7 Horcruxes, Voldemort was finally rendered mortal, leading to his ultimate defeat. But his pursuit of immortality reminds us of an important lesson. Sometimes, the price of life everlasting is greater than the cost of death. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of Harry Potter's darkest secrets, make sure to subscribe to ShutterMongers for more magical mysteries, dark artifacts, and untold tales from your favorite stories. And if you've got a theory or topic you'd like us to explore next, let us know in the comments below.